Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Tirye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai and Vijay, cursed by the sages. Text number 24 onwards. Tattena bhishtam sattva nidher vidhitso kshemam janay nija shakti bhirudhritarehe naitavata trayadhipater bat vishvabhartos teja shatam tvavanaktasya sate vinodaha. Dear Lord, you never want the auspicious path to be destroyed, for you are the reservoir of all goodness. Just to benefit in people in general, you destroy the evil element by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of the three creations and the maintainer of the entire universe. Therefore, your potency is not reduced by your submissive behavior. Rather, by submission, you exhibit your transcendental pastimes. So Lord was very submissive, very apologetic to the four Kumaras, and the Kumaras are saying, your position is so high, your potency is not reduced by submissive behavior. Lord Krishna was never reduced in his position by becoming a cowherd boy or by offering respect to Sudama Brahman or his other devotees like Nanda Maharaj, Vasudeva, Maharaj Yudhishthira, and the Pandavas' mother, Kunti. Everyone knew that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, yet his behavior was exemplary. So that's why his another name is Achyuta. Achyuta means he doesn't fall down from his position. He's always a Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though he became a chariot driver for Arjuna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sat, Chit, and Ananda Vigraha. His form is completely spiritual, full of bliss and knowledge, and it is eternal. Because the living entities are his parts and parcels, originally they also belong to the same quality of eternal form as the Lord. But when they come in contact with Maya, the material potency, due to their forgetfulness, their existential constitution is covered. We should try to understand the appearance of Lord Krishna in this spirit as the Kumaras pray to him. Means he's always spiritual, he's always the absolute truth, he's always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't change that position. Just for his pastimes, for his, like in the word, Kim's Vinoda, for his pleasure, he takes up different roles. And sometimes he forgets he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like in the picture behind me. Of course, it's a picture that both the brothers are flying kites because of Makar Sankranti. So artist must have thought of. But so he can forget that he is Supreme Personality of God, and he might cry if his kite is cut. But he never the position remains the same. He is eternally a young cowherd boy at Vrindavan. He is eternally the leader of the battle of Kurukshetra. And he is eternally the opulent prince of Dwarka and the lover of the damsels of Vrindavan. All his appearances are meaningful because they show his real characteristics to the conditioned souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord. He does everything for their benefit. The force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna was also necessary because when people become too irreligious, force is required. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom. So everything that he does is meaningful because that's his relationship, that's his reciprocation of his dealings with his devotees. But, and many times they are conditioned souls who have forgotten the relationship with Krishna. So for them, he exhibits different pastimes or different mood. Just like when he became the peace messenger and went to Hastinapur and Duryodhan tried to arrest him, he showed him his universal form, partial universal form, not the full form that he showed to Arjuna. But few hours later, he was at the house of Vidurji and eating the skins of banana fruit from his wife. So for different people, he just shows up differently. And here Prabhupada is writing, the force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Arjuna and through the agency of Arjuna was also, by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna, was also necessary. Because when people become too irreligious, force is required. So with that kind of people, he cannot just play like with the kite or with the cowherd boys. Those people will not understand. And look at the last statement. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom. So Prabhupada is Prabhupada. He can write like rascal word. And if he uses rascal word with Shankaracharya, here also he used, although there is no need. And here he is describing Krishna's pastimes. But if he uses the word rascal in the context of Shankaracharya, that's Prabhupada. We cannot comment on that. Text 25. Yam vanyoradamam dhisha bhavan vidatte vrittim nu va tad nu manmahi nirvayalikam asmasu vaya uchito dhriyatam sadando enagaso vayam yungshamahi kilbishena. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to tell us, also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Now the Kumaras, they are coming to the right point. First, they glorified the Lord, and actually they kind of told the Lord, whatever Lord was using the words to glorify the Kumaras and his position, Kumaras did it opposite way. He said, you are the supreme, you are this, you are that, you are not dependent on anybody, we are dependent on you. You are completely independent. And now they were feeling guilty that they cursed Jay and Vijay. And they're saying they're two innocent persons we have cursed. And you can do whatever you wish to do with that punishment, and you can punish us also. That is humility, actually. The sages, the four Kumaras, now reject the cursing of the two doorkeepers, Jay and Vijay, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of the Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord, or who actually engages in transcendental loving service, has all the good qualities of the demigods. Therefore, a devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement, that should not be taken very seriously. The cursing of Jay and Vijay is all here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance. And they are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. So very, very, very important for us from this context. We all have some faults. We all have some or other shortcomings. And we are not in a position to judge others. This is our position. Krishna wants to do whatever, that's his headache, not ours. Only thing we can do is worry about our spiritual progress and work on it. And if at all we have to worry about anybody else, that worry should be how I can help this person to make progress spiritually. That's all. How I can help, how can I serve him or her? Not that we try to find faults, we start finding faults and we try to make sure that person is fallen and he gets more fallen. In fact, that is the mood that we all have. That is a completely wrong mood. First thing we worry about ourselves. Where do I stand? What is my position spiritually? Where is my progress spiritually? And then at all, if we can help others, great. If not, we do our chanting. That's all. Otherwise, we can get into big, big soup. Text 26. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Eto Surer Targatim Pratipadya Sadhya Sarambha Sambrit Samadhya Anubadha Yogo Bhuya Sakasham Upayasayat Ashu Yovaha Shapo Mayev Nimitas Tadev Et Vipraha. The Lord replied, O Brahmins, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me. And therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration, intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. So here comes out the secret. The Lord stated that the punishment inflicted by the sages upon the doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijay, was conceived by the Lord himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It is to be understood that there was a plan in the cursing of the Lord's devotees in Vaikuntha, and his plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desires to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? Because the Lord is the source of everything, anger and fighting are also inherent in his personality. When he desires to fight with someone, he has to find an enemy. But in Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy because everyone is engaged fully in his service. Therefore, he sometimes comes to the material world as an incarnation in order to manifest his fighting spirit. So there are so many pastimes that he does not display in the spiritual world that he does perform in the material world, such as fighting, killing of demons. He killed so many demons when he came as Krishna. But because that he cannot do in the spiritual world, there is no demon, there is no enemy over there. In Bhagavad Gita also it is said that the Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and to annihilate the non-devotees. The non-devotees are found in the material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when the Lord wants to fight, he has to come to this world. But who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastimes in the material world are always performed with his associates, not with others, he has to find some devotee who will play the part of an enemy. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, both you and I have appeared many, many times in this material world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember. Thus, Jaya and Vijay was selected by the Lord to fight with him in the material world. And that was the reason the sages came to see him. And accidentally, the doorkeepers were cursed. It was the Lord's desire to send them to the material world, not perpetually, but for some time. So that was Krishna's desire. See the whole thing, how it is getting unfolded now. And also at the same time, Lord wanted to give us mercy to the sages to make them devotees. They were Brahmvadis and Brahmvadis. He had to transform them into devotees. So with one pastime, he takes care of many things. Therefore, just as on a theatrical stage, someone takes the part of enemy to the proprietor of the stage, although the play is for a short time and there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor, so the Surajanas, devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajana or atheistic families. That a devotee should come into an atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing the mock fighting, both the devotee and the Lord are again associated in the spiritual planets. That is very explicitly explained here. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes, as the Lord desires, devotees come into this material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord. Lord Buddha, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism. There is no God. But actually, there was a plan behind this, as explained in the Bhagavata. So that explanation is taken care of some other place. So Jay and Vijay, they fell down, and this was all planned by the Lord to come down as demons to give him some fighting pleasure. Brahma Vacha Achate munyo drishtva nenananda bhajanam vaikuntham tadadishtanam vikuntham cha swayam prabham. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikuntha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikuntha planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. The transcendental abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in Bhagavad Gita and confirmed in this verse, is self-illuminated. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, in the spiritual world, there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity. This indicates that all the planets there are self-illuminated, self-sufficient, and independent. Everything there is complete. Lord Krishna says that once one goes to that Vaikuntha planet, he never returns. But the sages also left. Sages went to Vaikuntha planet and they came back. Jay and Vijay fell down. They fell down because Lord wanted. Sages came back because they had some other services to perform yet. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha never returned to the material world, but the incident of Jay and Vijay was a different case. They came to the material world for some time and then they returned to Vaikuntha. Bhagwantam parikramya pranipatyanu cha pratijagmu pramuditaha shamsantu vaishnavim shriyam. The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of the Vaishnava. It is still a respectful practice to circumambulate the Lord in the Hindu temples. Especially in Vaishnava temples, there is an arrangement for people to offer the respects of deities and circumambulate the temple at least 3 times. Somebody asked me this question, why do we circumambulate 3 times? I haven't found the answer yet. If somebody knows, you can post it. Bhagwananugavah yatam ma bhashtamastu shama brahmateja samarthopi hantum neche mattam tume. The Lord then said to the attendants, Jay and Vijay, depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. As explained in connection with text 26, all the incidents that took place had the approval of the Lord. Ordinarily, there is no possibility that the four sages could be so angry with the doorkeepers, nor could the Lord neglect his two doorkeepers, nor can one come back from Vaikuntha after once taking birth there. All these incidents, therefore, were designed by the Lord himself for the sake of his pastimes in the material world. Thus, he plainly says that it was done with his approval. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for inhabitants of Vaikuntha to come back to the material world simply because of a Brahminical curse. The Lord especially blesses the so-called culprits. All glory is unto you. A devotee once accepted by the Lord can never fall down. That is a conclusion of this incident. So he's saying, all glory is to you. Now you take birth as demons, and not just regular demons, the full-fledged, heavy-duty demons. एतत्पुरेव निर्दिष्टं रम्या क्रुध्या यदा पुरापवारिता द्वारी विशन्ति मयुपारते. This departure from Vaikuntha was foretold by Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She was very angry because when she left my abode and then returned, you stopped her at the gate while I was sleeping. So that curse was also had to be taken care of. Mai sarambha yogena nistirya brahmahelanam pratyeshatam nikasham me kale nalpiyasa punaha. The Lord assured the two Vaikuntha inhabitants, Jay and Vijay, by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger, you will be cleansed of the sin of disobeying the Brahmins, and within a very short time return to me. So they practiced the mystic yoga system in anger. So they were very angry and they were always remembering the Lord, but in a different mode, a wrong mode. Okay, it's a little long purport. Maybe I'll take it up tomorrow. So anyway, somewhere else it is written, maybe Bhagavatam or maybe some Purana, it is written that the Lord asked these two, Jay and Vijay, that I give you two options. Either you go down and 3 births as demons, or 7 births as devotees, whatever you like. So Jay and Vijay, they understood the heart of the Lord, that Lord wants them to come down as demons because Lord wanted to satisfy his fighting spirit. So they took the form of, they said, we took the option of demons. Of course, their point was 3 lives as demons means they can be back in their service much faster. Instead of, if they had taken the 7 lives of devotees, then they would have to spend more time in the material world and away from the service. So for a devotee, service is very important. The rest, everything doesn't matter. So, and also they understood the heart of the Lord, that the Lord wants them to become demons. So they chose 3 lives of demons. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So these 2 lives of demon, I know, like the one is Ravan.
3.
Another was, Kansan. What was the third one they took birth as?
Oh, no.
Ravan,
First was,
Kansan.
no. First was Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They're brothers, no? Second was Ravan and Kumbhakarna.
Right.
And in Krishna Lila, they came as Shishupal and Dantavakra, not Kansa. Kansa was somebody else.
Okay.
These 2 came as Shishupal and Dantavakra.
And Prabhuji, yesterday, like we were discussing, like if when we got instantiated, the Gotra becomes Achyut. So, and Lord is called as Achyut because he cannot commit any mistake or he cannot fall from his position. So, any
He
relation
does not fall down. Well,
right,
Achyut is name of the Lord, so we go in the Lord's family, not from those rishis families like Kashyap or Bharadwaja, whatever those.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Hare
a lot.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one question. Prabhuji, when they were given the option of like becoming demons for 3 this thing and devotees for 7 this thing, what was there any choice behind why they choose to become demons or something like that?
I just explained 2 reasons.
Prabhuji, may I missed Prabhuji?
Okay, 2 reasons. One was they understood the heart of the Lord. The Lord wanted them to become demons because Lord wanted to fight. Who would have fulfilled his fighting desire? And second was that they thought 3 lives as demons, so they can come back to their service faster. Instead of 7 lives as devotees, then they would be away from their service. So
Thank
they
you
were
so much,
chosen
Prabhuji.
demons.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
will.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is related to Dvij Brahman, which you explained yesterday for, for when a person get initiated, so it's called as a Dvij, like second time.
Uh-huh.
And for married women is going to be the third Gotra types.
No. What
Married
third
woman
gotra?
gets when a married woman get initiated,
Uh-huh.
has already got 2 Gotra same, like parents ka Gotra will be changed when she get married.
Ah.
Gotra.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
when suppose I get initiated, so what will I'll also be Dvij Brahman?
I see your point. I see your point. So you'll be third birth. Yes, you will be more than Brahman. Vaishnavas are more than Brahman anyway. So you'll be Brahman. And if you get initiated, yes, your Gotra will be Achyut Gotra.
So the third time will be changed.
Yes. I never thought of this one. Yes.
So we will not
You
be
have a
called
good
as a
point.
Dvij Brahman. No? Women will not be called as a Dvij Brahman.
Not in that technical sense, like a Brahman, but as a Vaishnavi, you are more than a Brahman.
So Dvij word will not be,
Used for ladies. That's what you're saying? Yeah, in technical terms, yes, no. I mean, that's right. But your Gotra will be Achyut Gotra because if you have taken any. Okay. Yeah, technically, yes, Dvij won't be used for ladies. The word.
That's only for males, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that. There's something you learn every day.
It's just the thought came in mind. As if for
No,
unmarried.
it's a valid point. It's a valid point. I never thought of this one.
Okay, and for married women, so unka to fir third time ho gaya Gotra change.
Yeah.
Because who don't get married in the same Gotra, na?
Well, in that way, yes, but here also initiated devotees do get married to each other. So that's the same Gotra.
Oh. Spiritual word.
Yeah, that's why it's a Devi Varnashram system. No? It's a spiritual thing, not material.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
In fact, funny thing is, suppose boy and girl, they know each other before marriage. So boy was be calling her Mataji before marriage and after, and if they get married.
Prabhuji and Mataji is getting married.
That also happens. Okay. Thank you all very much. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.